All right, so we're going to do something entirely different from me today, and that's shoot a video of my screen and talk to you at the same time. Hopefully, I can put this down in the corner like everybody else does, because I've never done this before, so just bear with me. What I want to do today, it is time to order some seeds. I'm a little late. Typically, I order seeds in December, middle to late December. So we're going to go to Hoss Tools, and actually Hoss Tools has changed their name. It's called growhoss.com, growhoss.com. So, but this is where I get my seeds. Most of you know they sponsor my channel, and so they give me the seeds that I want. And but I've just found they've got the best seeds of anybody. I've just never had a problem with Hoss seeds, and I've ordered a lot of seeds off Amazon and stuff, and some of them just didn't make it. So Hoss is my preferred seed catalog. Even if they weren't free for me, I still want to go with Hoss. I still believe that they're the best seed. So let's click on, we're at Hoss now. Let's click on garden supplies. That's not what we want. Seeds and plants. And then they've got all the different varieties, whether you want vegetables or herbs, flowers, microgreens, plants and bulbs like onions and garlic and stuff like that. Cover crop, seed collection, fruits and vegetables is what we want. So I'm going to click on fruits and vegetables. And the first thing comes up is tomatoes. And that's what I like. So, but they've got different categories here. They've got some of the Hossinator varieties, which they've got several now that are Hossinator, and I really like the ones I've tried. So let's do, first let's look at tomatoes. 69 different varieties of tomatoes. And on top is the Hossinator and the red snapper. That's that's 2 out of 3 probably that I'm going to order this year, because I've grown them, grown the red snapper. This will be my 4th year, I think, to grow it. I've grown the Hossinator last year, and I did a comparison between the two. I really couldn't tell any difference in production. The taste is a little bit different. Maybe the Hossinator has a little better taste, but I just have to go back and watch that. It was so subtle, so slight, I'd have to go back and watch the video, actually, to figure that out. So the Hossinator tomato, we'll click on that. The seeds are very inexpensive, $3.99 for 10 seeds. They probably had everything germinate last year that I wanted to, so I'll probably get maybe 1 or 2 packs of that. Go back and look at the red snapper. That's the red snapper there. 10 seeds again there. Now you can buy them in larger quantities. You can buy 50 seeds. 10 seeds is was $3.99. 50 seeds is $9.98. Say 10, yeah, $3.99 for 10 seeds. Depends on how many you're planting, but really like the red snapper. They great disease resistant. They get big. I mean, I've had some well over a pound red snappers. Some really nice red snappers. Seems like the first one. This may be indicative of most tomatoes. I just never noticed it before, but it seemed like with the red snapper, the first ones that came off, you know, like the first, when they first started becoming ripe, I was a little disappointed in the taste. My neighbor said the same thing, just didn't have a lot of taste. But then after, you know, a week or so, or after you pick a few of them, the next ones that came off were really good. So these are my 2 favorite varieties, Hossinator, red snapper. I've grown the Sun Sugar cherry tomato before. It's a good tomato. It's goldish. It's not a red tomato. The Super Sweet 100s, I've grown those in the past. Really good tomatoes too. They farm more in the clusters. I mean, big clusters. Really good tomatoes. So I'd like the Super Sweet 100 cherries, but the Sun Gold I think is what I'm going to get. Probably just going to plant a couple of them because they are so prolific. Give you so many cherries, and the Sun Gold are a little bit more orange when they get ripe than the what was it, the Sun Sugar. Maybe a little bit more orange when they get completely ripe, but just really good tomatoes. As you can see, the ripeness there. I usually pick them maybe when they're right there, and then ripen to the orange, deep orange. That's all the tomatoes I'm going to grow, but they've got some marvelous tomatoes. They got a lot of heirlooms. In fact, they've got you can just click on just heirlooms if that's all you're interested in. So let's go with some of the other things I'm going to want. Now I'm gonna type in peppers. I'll go up here and just type in peppers. I haven't got used to the new websites yet. And I'll show you some of the peppers I have grown. The Colossus jalapeno, I haven't seen them to get that big. Now I'm in containers. All my peppers are in earth boxes. They didn't get huge. They got big, but they didn't get, I don't know what they expect. Let's look on it and see what it says. Extra large, up to 5 inches long. Well, they maybe got to 5 inches. The Halcinator bell pepper, I believe I grew some of those last year. They got the Halcinator jalapeno. Now, some of y'all really like hot peppers, and you may want something different. The Gold Rush banana pepper I've grown in years past. I'm not telling you that I'm buying any peppers this year. As you know, I'm hopefully saving my pepper plants over the winter. That's what I'm trying to do, is so I won't have to grow off any peppers. I'm saving the pepper plants for from last year into this year. So that's where we are right now. So I'm not gonna, as far as I know, I'm not gonna order any pepper plants. Now, some of these plants I have don't make it. I may wind up buying some plants somewhere else. The Tabasco I've grown last year. In fact, I've got one of them I've saved is a Tabasco plant. Very prolific. Peppers all over that plant. They were they were pretty warm. Let's see here. The Iberia cayenne. That's a good pepper. We've grown that. If you like a hot pepper, they get up to about 11 inches long. It's really a long hot pepper, cayenne type pepper, and the long slim cayenne. I've grown that too. Good pepper. Now the cayennes are going to be pretty hot. The red Marconi. Now that's what we really like. We have grown that several years. They get as long as 12 inches. I've seen some places call them a giant red Marconi pepper. They can get really, really big, and the flesh on them, the meat of the pepper when you bite into it, the flesh is a lot thicker. The outer walls of the pepper is a lot thicker, so with every bite you get more pepper in the Marconi. So if you can't handle a hot pepper and you're looking for something sweet, maybe even to stuff, the red Marconi is really good. But they've got so many here. They got the Carolina Reaper, which I don't want any part of whatsoever, or a ghost pepper. Some of y'all can handle that, man, good to you. I can't do it. So this is the peppers. Again, I'm not going to buy any pepper seed. The 3 seeds I'm going to buy right now, as of yet, are the 3 tomatoes that we talked about: the Sun Gold, the Halcinator, and the Red Snapper. May have some seed from last year also of those 3 varieties, but just in case, I'm going to go ahead and order some. All right, let's go back up. I want to show you some squash that I really like. Slick pick I grew last year, I'm pretty sure. Slick pick squash. That was a good squash. It's a straight neck. Let's see, but the one I really like, Gold Prize. That's the squash that I really like. It's kind of a straight neck. Some of them are curved a little bit. Some of the necks of these squash are curved a little bit, but it's basically called a straight neck. It's real glossy and slick. There's no bumps, and like you get on some squash. It's a very slick squash. I've eaten them just straight out. I'm not a big squash guy, but I've eaten them straight out in the garden. I mean, just broke it open and taken a bite. Really good squash. That's the Gold Prize. And other ones that I've grown, but they've got so many. I mean, I can't go through all these things. I'm just saying, if you want a good squash seed or any of these seeds, then Haas is the place to go. Let's see, what else might we do? Seeds and plants. They've got pumpkins and pole beans. Let's look at the pole beans. That's the Cherokee Trail. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I'm going to put in yard-long beans. See what we come up with here. All right, those are the ones that I grew last year. Orient Wonder beans. They do best in real hot weather. If you plant them early spring, they may not germinate. If you plant them very deep, they may not germinate. About 1/4 of an inch is all you want to plant these pole beans. These are Asian beans. They're used to a tropical climate. They love the heat. They'll grow just about all year long. Once you get them going, once it warms up, they'll go crazy in the summertime. You don't have to worry about summer burning them up. Orient Wonder pole bean. They've got some great green beans. In fact, they've got a Halcinator green bean. Haas green. That may be the one I'm thinking of. The Haas Blue Lake, Haas green blaze bush bean. I think that's the one I planted last year. It was a bush bean, so that may be it. 100 seeds for $6. But just, if you're looking for good bean seeds, squash seeds, watermelons. Let's look for some watermelons, because I love me some watermelons. Now, I haven't had a lot of success with the seedless watermelons. I've tried, I think, twice to plant them, to start them from seed. You have to start these from seed. You can't just plant these out in the garden. They're just not going to do well. Not going to have a germination rate that's worth a darn. But what I would like to do, and I'm going to start my seeds inside the house this year, so I might can get it done. Outside in the barn where it's cool, even with a heat pad, the seedless watermelons just did not do well. Inside is where I have a great success on all my seeds, much greater success. So I may try some seedless watermelons in the house. You have to have a seeded variety that you plant alongside, so that you have to, for a pollinator. So the pollinator, when you buy, I forgot about that. The good thing about these Summer Breeze, any of the seedless watermelons, they also send the pollinator seeds along with it. So you plant those along with the seeded varieties. You plant the seeded varieties along with the seedless. So you get 15 seedless watermelon seeds and 10 sangria watermelon pollinizer seeds. So I don't know whether that's all the... there's some seedless, tailgate, captivation. But all these seedless are going to come with a pollinator seed along with it. Let's look at the tailgate. I believe I've heard Daddy Hoss talk about the tailgate. It's only got 1 review, got 2 stars. And I'm telling you, seedless watermelons are just, they're hard to, I don't even have to look at the review. I know what it's going to say. They didn't germinate. They're just hard to germinate. So, you get 15 seeds per pack. You probably get 5, maybe 10 good plants. You may have success that blows mine away. But seedless watermelons, I love watermelons. I hate dealing with the seeds. So my thing is to get seedless watermelons grown here on the place. I would love to get that done. So I'm gonna probably get the tailgate, and what was the other one we just looked at? The excuse me, the Crimson Summer Breeze seedless watermelon. So there's so many different varieties of the fruits and vegetables that, excuse me, I can't go through all of them. But spineless Supreme Zucchini I've used, Pascola, Pascola zucchini I've used in the past. I should have got me something to drink before I started this. But I mean, just look at all the different squashes they have. Squashes and zucchini. It's just, I mean, really, really plethora of seeds. I have no idea how many seeds, different seeds they've got, but they cover the gambit. If you're looking to grow it, they definitely have it. So basically, my gardening plan this year is to grow from seed to grow tomatoes. I'll be starting those hopefully next week. Maybe even have a video of it next week. Tomatoes, just a few. I'm gonna plant for me, maybe a few for my neighbor, maybe a few for my daughters, and so you know, maybe 20, 30 altogether, because I probably only need 10 or 12. I've got tomatoes in the freezer right now that we didn't use from last year. I've got corn in the freezer that I didn't use from last year. Let me just show you some of the corn that I like while I'm talking. Let me change that to sweet corn. And that is, I've got so much corn in the freezer, I really don't know if I'm gonna buy any more corn seed in this year. But I'll show you what I've liked, show you what I've grown in the past and I've really liked. But I've got a lot of corn. I don't know that I'm going to grow any pickling cucumbers. I have got a cabinet full of pickles. And I've got some peppers in there pickled. I've got pickled cucumbers in there pickled. I just don't know that I'm going to have any. I'll grow some pickles for eating, and I like the burpless. I think it's on here. It's called a burpless supreme. So I like those. But the corn we've grown in the past is a temptress. It's a quad sweet corn, extremely sweet. Last year we grew the ambrosia. It's a bicolored corn. We really like the ambrosia, and we like the temptress too. We just didn't get quite as much. I tried the honey select. I didn't care for it. It's not one of the super sweets. I like my corn like I like my sugar. It's sweet. Peaches and cream, really good corn. We've grown that several years. You've probably grown that too. If you've grown corn very long, you know about peaches and cream. Really, really good corn. Sweet, sweet corn. I'm trying to look at some others that we may have grown. I think I've grown candy corn. That's been years ago, but I've grown that. G90. I grew something called a Funk 90. And I believe it's the same thing as the G90 or close to it. But I've grown the G90 in the past also. So corn, I just don't know that I've got a lot of corn seed from last year. So even if I decide to grow some corn, I'm not gonna get any seed from Hoss because I've got so much. I lost my train of thought there. Summer peas, and that's purple hull peas and Crowder peas and we like purple hulls, and we like the zipper cream peas, and they've got all these. So we can look at the peas real quick. I don't grow sugar snap. You got to grow them so early, and I would probably love them. I just don't do it. There's the Lady Cream, Mississippi Purple Eye, Pink Eye Purple Hull. That's what we typically grow. Really good choice for if you want purple hull peas. The Red Ripper pea, I haven't grown it, but heard a lot of good stuff about it. The top pick, now that's a pea that makes on top of the plant. If you don't like bending over and reaching up under the bottom of the plant by the dirt to get any peas, then you might want a top pick variety. And the Mississippi may also be a top pick, but the top pick purple hull, top pick pink eye is a pink eye purple hull that you pick on top. And I believe Mississippi is a top pick type. I don't know. It doesn't say, or I'm not seeing it. But really, really nice set of peas here. Texas cream. I hadn't tried that, but they sure sound good. The white Dixie butter peas. I think I planted those one year, and they didn't do well for me, and I can't remember why. I did them in a raised bed, and for some reason they just I planted late, and I already had a bunch of peas surrounding them that had grown, and I think they just got shaded out. Just didn't get the sun to really do well.
But they got so many different options and varieties of peas. Everything you're looking for, Hoss has got it. No matter where you get your seeds. Now, this is not a commercial for Hoss. It's me telling you that that's who I use is Hoss. Even if they weren't sponsors of mine, I would probably use Hoss because they've got some good stuff. Now, if you can't find it at Hoss, different story. I do go on Amazon, maybe at David's. David's Seeds is a good place on Amazon. Not everywhere on Amazon is a good place. David's Seeds is a good place. So sometimes you go on. I'll go on Amazon if it's something that I've heard about or whatever, and that Hoss doesn't have. Travis Hoss, it's not his name, but Lazy Dog was talking about an okra the other day that I came over here and they didn't have, so I ordered from Lazy Dog. So I do order seeds elsewhere. It's just that this is the bulk of my seeds, and I'm not covering by any means. I just don't do English peas. That's just poison as far as I'm concerned. I just hate them. Cauliflower, I'm sorry, I just don't do it. But beans and peas and stuff like that, I do like. They've got things over here to check warm season, cool season, whatever. They've got you covered on everything. So if you're looking for some good seeds, and let me tell you what, I don't know where you live, but if you're down in the South, you need to start thinking about starting seeds now because we're 6 to 8 weeks after you start your seed is when you're going to be transplanting. So if we start seed at the end of January, you got February and March. That means you put them in the ground in either late March or early April, which is about the time we plant down here in the ground. About the time we plant, either transplant in the ground or plant seeds in the ground, like I will squash. And if I plant a seeded watermelon, it'll go straight in the ground. It won't get started indoors. But now is the time if you're wanting to buy some seed. Man, we're one crisis away from everybody and their brother flooding to these seed catalogs and doing like they did at COVID. You couldn't even find a seed. You couldn't find a bag of fertilizer hardly anywhere because everybody went and bought all their stuff. So, well, like I say, we're just one crisis away. So don't wait for the crisis. Go ahead and get your seeds now. I'd appreciate it if you'd use my Hoss link, but you don't have to. And I'd appreciate it if you use Hoss because I know the folks and they're good folks. They got some great products. And if you have any questions, you can write them and ask questions. I think you can even chat. I haven't had a chat thing come up yet, I don't think, on here. But sometimes they'll have a thing where you can chat with them. But go ahead and order your seeds. Wherever you get your seeds, go ahead and order them now and get them ready. If you're in the South and want to go ahead and start them now, it's a good idea. It's a real good idea. I'm going to do that next week probably. Nothing, if nothing comes up and I can. But that's what we're doing. Looking at seeds, looking at gardening. Got a big gardening experience coming this year. All mine. I've shown you that place where I'm putting all the containers, all the earth boxes and wicking tubs, all the two big raised beds that I have from Vajega, I think it actually is. But it's time. It's time to start thinking about gardening. Getting your gardening tools. If you garden in the ground, if you've never used a wheel hoe, if your ground is pliable, if it's hard clay, they don't do quite as well. They work, but they don't work quite as well. But if your ground is fairly pliable, you talk about a weed-free garden. You run through there a couple of times, once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, with a good set of cultivators on the end of a wheel hoe. And I tell you what, let me see. Let me come over here and find a wheel hose. There is nothing like going through and using a wheel hoe on a garden. As far as between the rows, just keeping them grass-free. I had several people ask me, how do you keep it so grass-free? I'm in containers a lot now, but I will have, if I plant corn, I'm going to have corn in the ground. I'm going to maybe do Hoss's, what do they call it? Lazy Man garden or something like that. But the wheel hoes they have are just, the best in the world. You're not going to find a wheel hoe any better from anybody else.
all the attachments they have, and you go through there and just, I mean, it just absolutely will keep your garden weed free. Most of the time in pliable soil, most of the time it's like pushing a baby carriage or something. It's not struggling and bumping unless you've got hard red clay and maybe even that black gumbo. Then it might get kind of hard. But for right now, as far as what I've done to my soil with the Back to Eden mulching method, I've made my soil really pliable. Because I couldn't have probably used the wheel hose years ago. I mean, 10 years ago before I started all this. Probably couldn't have used that because in the spring it's fine. But once it starts drying out, man, my soil, it's not soil, it's red clay, is just hard as a rock. So, keep that in mind if you're on red clay. But otherwise, a wheel hoe is a great way to keep your garden. If you're in the dirt, great way to keep your garden from, just keep it weed free. I mean, it really, really is. Let's see here. What else we'll be looking at here? They got they've got watering hose. They got all the drip irrigation, all right, supplies. I'm looking for the Lazy Man. Well, let me just type it in there. Lazy Man. There it is. Lazy Garden Kit's what it's called. And basically it's 15 by 30 or 15 by 20 landscape fabric. It's already got the holes cut in it. The drip irrigation comes with it, not laid out for it. You still have to lay it out, I'm pretty sure. But I'm going to be using that this year, so you'll get to see that this year. And you just plant, and you don't have any weeds. It's a really great way to plant. The Lazy Garden Kit. So I've got one of those. Got back last fall. I told them I wouldn't be able to use it till this spring, but it's probably where I'm going to do watermelons and maybe some okra. Maybe do okra in earth boxes. Okra does real well in earth boxes. But watermelon and maybe some squash or something like that. Really not sure what I'm going to do on this. But that'd be perfect for watermelon, because watermelons, once they get to running, you can't weed them. They're everywhere, and you can't go in there with a wheel hoe or anything else and weed them once they really start running. So this would be a perfect way to have a watermelon garden or a melon garden, like cantaloupes. That's what I'm trying to think of. I don't really like cantaloupes. But cantaloupe garden, watermelon garden, that anything that runs, even pumpkins and gourds and things like that, things that are run, it'd be a perfect way to do that, to garden those items and not have to worry about the weeds, because they come up through they either come up through the slits in the garden kit, or you plant them in it. If you're planting from seedlings. You're transplanting is what I'm trying to say. But the garden kit's got fabric pins included. Again, two sizes, 15 by 30, 15 by 20. I believe I got the 15 by 20, I think. I'll have to go look, but just a great way to garden, and it looks great, and got all the drip irrigation you need, all the fittings you need. Let's see, doesn't show all the fittings and stuff. And then it tells you, though, Lazy Garden Kit includes ground cover, pins, 20-foot main line, 10-foot of drip line, pre-cut drip lines. So you really don't have to do a lot. It's kind of, you just go in there and use what they give you and the links they give you, and it should be perfect. Transfer barbs, figure 8 end clamps. That's how you clamp off the end of your main line. 20 psi combo, filter combo. It's a pressure reducer, which you have to have, or you're going to blow those fittings off with 50 or 60 pounds of pressure. It's a pressure reducer. It's a filter. It's everything all in one. Just hooks up to the hydrant, the faucet, and it's got the hole punch for punching the holes you need. So anyway, this is this is the place that I go, and the place that I point everybody to, whether they use my link or not. Big believer in Hoss. big believer in the family. Like I say, they really know what they're doing. They're very helpful. Contact them, and they'll let you know. They'll let you know whatever you ask for. So I know I didn't cover everything. I wasn't going to cover everything. That would be way too long. But the seeds you want are at Hoss, but the seeds you want are elsewhere too. So wherever you buy your seeds, buy them, and buy them soon. I should have already bought. I should have already got mine, because I typically do that in December, and I just didn't do it. So just thought I'd throw this out there and show you what I'm doing, or what I'm fixing to do. It's raining outside, cats and dogs can't really get out there, and I've been in the office just about all day or all week. And I just thought I'd try this. I've never done this before, so this may never make the air. I don't know, but this is time to be thinking about gardening, and I hope you are, and I hope you'll include Hoss, and you'll use my link if at all possible. If you really care to, that's fine. Fine with me if you don't, but it would be nice if you did. So Hoss Tools, wherever you get your seed, get your seed. And again, it's not Hoss Tools, it's growhoss.com. I've got to keep that in my back of my head. growhoss.com. My link will be just below this video. My associate link will be below this video, and you're welcome to use it. And I appreciate y'all, and hope you got your stuff going. Comment below, and let me know if you've already started seed. Some of you may have. If you're in 8, 9, 10, for sure you probably started seed if you're in zone 10. But it's certainly time to start thinking about it. Not too early, even though it's cold and just got through a big cold snap. Right now, again, it is soaking wet out there. Got a full pond for the first time in months and months and months. And it's just a good day to be alive. You know, just good day to be alive. Checking out seeds and thinking about gardening for next year. I love it. I hope you do too. And I think we're gone now.